Hello motherfuckers, welcome back to my motherfucking channel. If you're new here, if it's the first time you're seeing this, I am. So, over the past couple of months, I have been in a Beatles series going on my channel, okay? And I reacted to every single one of their albums. And it has brought me here today to this video right here, where I'm going to be ranking every single The Beatles album. This is going to be hard because I know you guys, I know the Beatles fans, you guys take the Beatles very fucking serious, which I respect. I love it. It's understandable. When you have a favorite artist, you better take them seriously, period. I just don't want you guys to be mad. This is all opinionated, okay? You guys, I want you guys to follow along with me. Do the ranking or just do your favorite from least favorite to favorite, whatever. And how we're going to do this ranking system is I have 5 categories, okay? Starting from the bottom, skip. Like it's not that cute, so you just skip the song, skip the album type vibes. To okay, like, okay, it's okay, you know, it was good, it wasn't too much, you know, it was okay. To good. This was a good album, a solid album. I can see myself listening to this, bopping around the house with it. You know, it was a good album. To great. This was a great, very, very solid album. Very memorable, very just on the nose when it comes to the music, you know. The last category is ultimate gag. This album lasted decades and is still gaggery to this day, okay? Ultimate gag. That's the very last category. Now, their debut album is titled Please Please Me. I put this in the good section of this tier or whatever. It was a good album. It wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. It was a good debut, okay? I can't say nothing more than that. But I will say I'm like almost 2 seconds closer to putting this into the great category. And, you know, I almost might. I think I am. I'm going to put this in the great category. Please Please Me goes into the great category because you have songs like Misery, Anna Go to Him, Ask Me Why, P.S. I Love You. There's just, the songs on this album are very, to me, memorable and very just good. A great album, okay? This was a great album. I'm not even going to lie, okay? Great debut, okay? Great. Now, the next album is called With the Beatles, okay? This is where I'm just scared that you guys are just gonna be like, this motherfucker. But I put that in the okay category. It was an okay album to me. Just to me, I didn't, and it's good, and it's kind of gonna be a theme here with their earlier music. I didn't really, it wasn't for me. It was good, but it just wasn't, no, don't do that. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. The next album was A Hard Day's Night. This album almost made it into the good category, but I'm have to put it in the okay category. It's just okay, okay? I don't think it's a terrible album. If I thought it was a bad album, I would have put it in the skip section of this video, but it's not going there. It's an okay album. I can see myself bopping to a couple songs on the album, but it's just not iconic, okay? It's just not, to me. Okay, the next album is Beatles for Sale, okay? We're sticking in this, there was a problem here for me, okay? We're still in that okay category, to me. Personally, it feels like it was okay. Like, after listening to all their albums, I feel like I can say that and, like, have that, it's kind of valid, okay? Like, they have way better albums, not gonna lie, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep that in the okay category. Do not get mad. This is opinionated. It's not factual. We're just having fun here, okay? Now, the next album took me for a spook, okay? First of all, we started the album, Help! I need somebody, help! I'm going to put that in the good category. That is a good album. Okay, now we're stepping up. We went from okay to good. Here we are. Now, to me, this album really, it was like, okay, this was like a step forward for me personally. Because first of all, you had The Night Before, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, I Need You, You're going to lose that girl. You like me too much. Yesterday, it's just so many good songs on this album, and I'm so close to putting this in the great category, but I think this is a well-deserved good solid album. Okay, like the next album, Rubber Soul. Rubber Soul is going to go into the great category for me. Okay, to me, this is when shit started turning around, and I started like, okay, my gears were switching. Okay, that week I was just like, ooh my god. To me, this album felt like they were travelers. They were giving us travelers from time. They came to the 60s, dropped these albums, and left. The people that are here now are clones. Those aren't the real the Beatles, okay? These people were aliens, and I feel like this was the start of it, okay? Gaggery. Norwegian Wood. Think for Yourself. Michelle. What Goes On. I'm Looking Through You. In My Life. Like, what a good fucking album. You know, and I think maybe, honestly, I'm gonna take back what I said and put Help in the great category. These two albums right here really meshed together really well, and it was a different little era for them, so gaggery. Okay, gag. Now the next album is Revolver, okay? And this is also, I feel like each and every album this far, something new was happening, okay? I feel like the gears just kept turning album after album after album after album. It just kept getting better and better and better, okay? And so you got to Revolver, okay? This album just, everything. Sonically, this album is one of their best albums. So I'm going to have to put it in great, the great category. This is a great The Beatles album. There's no missteps with this album, because you have songs like Eleanor Rigby, I'm Almost Sleeping, Love You Too, She Said, I Want to Tell You. There's just so many solid album or songs on this album, and it has to go in the great category. This was a great album. I couldn't say it better myself. They really pulled out those psychedelic vibes with this album and really did it so good for the 60s. It sounded amazing. This is when I always took them serious. Whenever I do music on my channel, I take them serious. But this is when I really sat back and said, these are the fucking Beatles, okay? Am I really gagging right now? And I absolutely was gagged. Abso-fucking-lutely. This was a great album. Okay, the next album is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Okay, not only is this my most viewed The Beatles album video, this is also one of my favorite albums of all time. Okay, this album is going to the ultimate gaggery category already. This album was fucking one of a kind, first of its kind. This album was significantly different from anything that was out at that time and anything that was coming out, okay? My God, a beautiful Chef Kiss album. First of all, you have the intro and the outro of that album, making it a whirlwind, full circle album, a very repeatable album that you can listen to over and over again. Then you have songs like With a Little Help from My Friends, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, for the benefit of Mr. Kite. There's so many fucking songs on this album that, and this is, to me, to be an ultimate gag song, it has to be a 10 out of 10 song. And I feel so stupid because I gave that album a 9.9 out of 10 with that ranking system on my album videos, where it was just like, this album deserved a 10, easily deserved a 10. So to me, this is an ultimate gag, one of the best albums of all time, okay? Period.
I would just like to go back real quick and say that I'm moving Revolver to the ultimate gag category just because, like, I was tripping, bitch. That is a great fucking album, but it's an ultimate gaggery at the end of the day. So, yeah, I'm changing that real quick. Hope that makes somebody feel good.
Okay, now the next album, or EP, whatever you would want to call it, I reacted to it and I'm gonna add it here, is called Magical Mystery Tour. Gag. There were people in my comments telling me, don't listen to this. You don't want to hear this. Don't listen to this. Just get back to the real music. Bitch, what? I'm glad I didn't listen to you guys. And I'm glad I went with my gut instinct and listened to it. This is going to the ultimate gag, for me, category in this whole video. Because what? This is one of the best projects. I don't give a fuck what you call it, okay? I'm calling it a project. It's one of the best of all time. And let me tell you why, okay? Strawberry Fields Forever is one of the best songs of all time. And I say something, I mean it, okay? When I say something, I fucking mean it.
When I say something, I mean it.
This was such a giant gag to me, okay? It just sounded different, okay? It sounds different. I love when things just don't sound like everything else that's out right then. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel pushed. It felt perfect where it belonged. Like perfect, okay? Oh my god. All You Need Is Love, Flying, Blue Jay Way were other songs that I felt very strongly about this album with. But every song on the album was a gag. This is also could be a 10 out of 10. I don't think I gave it a 10, but it was very close to getting it. But I'm putting it in the ultimate gag either way. It's such a good project, and I recommend anybody that hasn't heard the Beatles listen to that as well, because it's good. It's fucking good. Okay, the next album is the White Album. I'm gonna just do it now, put it in the ultimate gag. This was a 10 out of 10 album. It was a 2-part video series on my channel, a series within a series of the Beatles. It was a spectacular moment, okay? It was such a good album. So this is definitely going into the ultimate gag, because like I was saying, from Revolver all the way to Magical Mystery Tour, we were getting those psychedelic, different worldly feeling, just very ultimate pop vibes for that era, feeling pop rock vibes for that era, all for us to come back into the White Album and take a deep breath. It was down to earth. It was very, you could just, it was serene and just beautiful. It was a beautiful, beautiful transition of albums, and that's what made the White Album even more spectacular, was coming from those albums that sounded like that. And it was just a perfect blanket over this fucking, over the journey up until that point. It was just, oh my god, 10 out of 10. I still love that album. It was such a good album. How can't you, with songs like Dear Prudence, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Julia, Mother Nature's Son, Long, 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 Good Night, Revolution 9, Revolution 1. So many fucking good songs on that album. It's not even funny. If you want to make your day better, just take some time out and listen to this album. It's so fucking, from start to finish too. Both parts of the album, because the album is really long, so you're going to need a minute to take out of your day to listen to this album. But it's worth it because it's so fucking good as a whole. So I'm putting this album in the ultimate gag category. One of the best albums of all time. Let's be real. Okay, now the next album or project, whatever, I'm going to call it a project, is Yellow Submarine. It was a soundtrack, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I reacted to it, so I'm going to put it in here. This is going to go into the okay category. I said when I listened to the album, it was good, okay? I'm not going to lie. It was a good album. Solid project, but it just was okay. It wasn't memorable. I don't like Yellow Submarine, the song. I don't like that song. So it was just like, it was okay. So if we're going in order on how they dropped albums, the next album is Abbey Road. This album I'm putting in the ultimate gag. This album really, somebody said it best the other day, that it is the best ending to a pop culture group of all time, and I couldn't agree more. Like, it was very iconic, very earth-shattering moment, and just jaw-dropping. It was jaw-dropping moment. And every song on this album was solid, and just, it really was a good feeling album, okay? I know it was sad because it was the end. It was earth-shattering, like I said, but it was bittersweet, okay? Like, this is the end, but it's a beautiful ending, so kiss my ass. No, but like they all went off and did their own thing or whatever and made spectacular music, I'm assuming. And this was just like a last thing for them. Like everybody come together. It just felt like a simple hug, okay? A last hug. So I'm going to put this in the ultimate gag category just because it's that, okay? Now the last album that they dropped was Let It Be, okay? The song itself, Let It Be, alone is an ultimate gag. But I'm going to put this in the great category just because you guys were telling me the history with it. You know, they didn't really want to put this out. It was recorded way before Abbey Road, and they dropped it after Abbey Road. It was just a mess. But it's still a great album, nonetheless, and I do not regret I don't regret listening to it. Yeah, I don't regret listening to that album. And the way I did it before Abbey Road. It was a good album. I'm not gonna lie. And if people didn't know that this album was recorded before Abbey Road, you know, it still would have fit as a great ender. Abbey Road definitely ended the Beatles way better, but this was still a great ender, and it just felt solid. Everything about it felt solid. Definitely nothing less, but I can say nothing more. I don't think it's the ultimate gag, but I do think it's a great album, okay? Okay, so now I gave you guys my ranking. Here's the full list itself. I want to give you my top 3 The Beatles albums overall, for me personally. And those are going to be Sgt. Pepper's, The White Album, and Abbey Road. For me, I was almost so close to putting Magical Mystery Tour in this top 3. But the White Album definitely deserved, okay? Because that's what I was going to switch out. Because I can't get rid of my baby, Sgt. Pepper's. Bitch, I can't do it. But those are my top 3. I would love to know what your guys' top 3 are. Be back soon because we're doing the compilations. I don't know when that's happening, but I know it's happening this month. So be back for that. And be back for my top 20 favorite Beatles songs list that I'm going to make. And I guess that's it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and let me know you guys' thoughts on what I said about my ratings. I know I'm going to get dragged, but it's worth it. But I guess that's it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Bye, motherfuckers.